Before the fall, when we lived on Earth and not in these space stations, there was so much waste. We've all seen the pictures and videos of New York, Beijing, and so many other cities. Well, I just got word that we will be manufacturing new materials from our recycled plastic waste. Now, obviously, this is exciting because it's been a long time since we've gotten a new shipment from Tango Station. But it's our responsibility to not repeat the mistakes of the past. This is only possible because we've been so diligent with saving every scrap of recycled material.
We interrupt this scheduled broadcast for a breaking news update from the Sticky Buttons podcast.
Hi, this is Brandon.
And this is Blake.
And this is the Sticky Buttons pod.
It's a pretty chill video game podcast where we talk about the games that we love. And dude, I have not seen you in forever. What is up, my friend?
It has been a while, Blake. It really has. A lot has been up, man. I gotta really fill you in. I've been playing a lot of Dragon Quest and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on the Switch. Mainly Switch because that's the only console I've had time to play these days with all my schoolwork and just having to go to work and stuff. It's a really versatile console, really powerful console. Shout out to the Switch.
I've been playing exclusively Switch for like 3 months. It feels like 3 months, but it's really only been like 2.5 months because I've been living out of my suitcase.
Dude, how's that been? How's that whole experience been? Just living out of your suitcase. I know you've told me you wanted to like head back to the city a couple of times, but
I mean, it's
what is it like?
It's a kind of a toss up because obviously like being safe and like having everyone be safe is like number one priority, you know, because it's like I have like my roommates in New York and I have to like be courteous of them. So I have to like make sure that I'm quarantining in a place for 2 weeks before I go back, which I have been. And then I have Aaron's family, which Aaron is my girlfriend. So I have my girlfriend's family. And I also had previously I had my family so like my mom, dad, and sister. So like obviously like that, like being safe in COVID is like number one priority. And then like after that, it's kind of like it's tough because you're not in your own space, but like you're also like a guest. But honestly, man, like just getting to see everybody in this like day and age is such a blessing. And I'm totally willing to like give up my own space in order to be with the people that I love. And that is just, thankfully, that's a blessing that I have, which is something that not a lot of people have. And not a lot of people are okay with you risking to like be on public transportation, like whether it be a flight or a train to go see them.
Yeah, definitely. That's a real risk these days, man. And like, if you're going to catch it anywhere, it'll probably be like on a plane or, you know, in that enclosed space, you know, that enclosed cabin or in a subway car. You know, the subway isn't the most sanitary of places. Although the MTA does clean it twice a day in the beginning and in the end. It's risky, man. It's scary right now. The pandemic is still going strong. We found out about this new strain, the UK strain, and that's some really scary stuff, man. What have you heard about that, if anything?
So yeah, actually, man, I don't want to get like too much into this about my personal life, but the parent company, the company I work for, they're based out of the UK, and all I know is that they have pretty much like exclusively been working from home for like, obviously like everybody or most people are working from home, but like they have been on lockdown. That's the word I was trying to say. They've been on lockdown 2 or 3 more times than we have out there in the UK. So definitely like shouts out and prayers up to them. But I mean, we really just gotta all, you know, focus on the micro, you know, keeping everybody in your own like group safe and doing what you can.
Doing what you can. I like that. That makes me think about, you know, Need for Speed and that racing.
Great transition there, Val.
just racing, and like sometimes I go a little too fast and I'm trying to keep up, but it's futile because I have no control. I will like crash into everything and like run into a car and end up in last place. It happens too often, man. I am not too good at being a racer. I find that I'm a better cop. It's
So you've been playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. That's right. Oh
yeah,
my
man.
gosh, dude, that's funny.
The whole premise behind that one is that, you have the SCPD, um,
What does that stand for? Do you know?
uh, something county police department. I'm not sure what county it is, but it's a police department that has a lot of funding because they have super expensive cars for these cops to stop racers in. And you get like road spikes, and you get to like call these units to stop people. Overall, just a really fun game. And I'm sure a lot of people have had experiences with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It's just a classic.
So
What
you've
event?
played this before, right?
Yeah, I have played it before on the good old PlayStation 2.
Nice.
That
They
was
they ported it to Switch.
they actually have since remade the game a couple times on like newer consoles. And I guess they just put like the newest version on the Switch.
Yo, that's awesome, man. The Switches, honestly, they've had so many like good ports. And dude, you know it's funny that you're playing this. You've probably been playing this for like, would you say like 3 weeks now?
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, yeah, only a few weeks.
Dude, you know it's funny. I have like in the back of my mind, all I can think about is PlayStation 2. Isn't that weird? I mean like I kind of knew that you were playing it, but I didn't know it was a PlayStation 2 game. That's
Dude,
nuts.
it's not weird, especially considering the fact that you got a PlayStation 2 pretty recently. I bet
Oh, I have two PlayStation 2s now, man. I could lend you one.
you got a PS4 altogether right there.
If you add them up. Actually, I got a PSP too, so technically I got the PS5.
You tried it with that one. Like, you tried it with that one, but the PSP handheld. And man, I miss the PSP. That was such a good little console. Can we talk about those cartridges? Those
Dude,
little
they weirded me out. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like having to open up the back, but I mean, it is what it is. When did you get your PSP?
I got my PSP. I must have been like 13, 12 years old. Um, and yeah, man, I remember just opening the back of that like console. It's kind of like a little sports car. You just like pop it open, you put your cartridge in there, you close it back up. And like the cartridge is like it has a little disc, which reminds
Mhm.
me of the GameCube, like the little disc for the GameCube, but it's sealed in like this kind of white casing. And yeah, man, I like the design of the PSP. I don't know why PlayStation stopped, using that model for
And they stopped
things.
making handhelds.
Yeah, man.
Dude, honestly, like it just looks so sick. Like one of the things that I always like, I just love the way it looks. And I love the way that it feels because it's got like the one joystick and then the D-pad and like the buttons. But like when you look at it long ways, you can see the L and the R through the glass on the bumpers.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I thought that was like so slick. And it just like kind of has this like, at least for me, like I mean, like I know it's like 20 teens kind of vibe, but it just got like this like retro kid vibe for me. And
What
I'm glad that I still have mine.
you still have yours? What is that charger again? What does that charger look like? I'm kind of curious. Is it just
Oh
a micro
man.
USB?
It's like it's got the like AC. It's like an AC something something adapter, and it's just like a yellow. Oh, man, it's got like a yellow tip to it. It's just like a charging tip. It's like about like the end of your man. I'm really describing this bad, but it's old.
It's some old technology, some old hardware.
Okay, this is a better way. This is a better way to say it. Imagine an aux cord, but instead of it going into something, there's something inside the aux cord, and then there's a hard metal ring case that goes around the aux, and that is like your power cable, and that goes inside a hole inside your PSP.
Okay, so it's like a circular port.
Yeah, it's like yeah, that's a better way to say it.
I
Like,
know why, but for some reason I was imagining kind of like a micro USB port, but Yeah, no,
Honestly, dude, the USB-Cs, they're great. I love those. I mean, obviously that's the way of the future, but those are so nice.
yeah, they are seamless and like I mean we're using USB-Cs right now. Is Mac going back to like the old setups? I think I saw something about that where they were like kind of return to the like regular pin chargers. I'm
Oh,
not
I'm
sure.
not sure.
I
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
I might be
Like these
incorrect.
kind of chargers right here with the magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I
Yeah.
love these magnets. I said it once before on the pod, the magnets, baby. Ooh, I love those.
I was reading somewhere that they might do that, man. They
Brain
might
is
do
rolling
that.
his eyes. Here, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is why I love the magnets. This is a story time from Blake when he was in college. I went and got some food in the one of our mess halls. I guess it's a weird way to say it. Like one of the places where you go and get food and there's like all the kids and they're like working on their stuff, but you can also get food there.
Yeah.
And it was like Sunday morning, I was getting Taco Bell. I'm assuming that your boy was he was hungover and he like definitely walked into somebody's cord. And you know what happened? Nothing because of the magnet.
It just
Just
yeah, just came off. Didn't
but
pull
if
the
it wasn't a
magnet
magnet,
anywhere.
that would have been an
Yeah.
expensive Sunday for me.
If it was a snug USB-C in there, oh Blake, you would have been in for one right there.
Yeah, I honestly like my girlfriend has one, and every time I see her like set it on the bed, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that, like it just makes me nervous because I feel like the USB, like if something happens, the USB-C, I feel like it's gonna snap inside the laptop. Like I feel like the
Ah,
cord, I mean, like
like it'll
maybe it's an unrealistic fear, but I feel like that's gonna happen every time I see it.
I could definitely see that. I mean, it's a really thin like port. It could theoretically bend a little in there.
I think it's probably not that likely, but I guess that's just like a irrational tech fear of mine. But
Hey
yo,
man,
dude, let me tell you, I'm gonna transition this. Dude, I've had a day. I've had a day.
dude, tell me about it. You were texting me about it earlier. Let's hear about it.
So this is just like I feel like every now and then you just have one of those days in your life where you're like, wow, like things are just happening. Like it's not like good or bad, but like things are just like happening to you, like whether like decisions like pay off or like whatever it is. I feel like my whole day, like my heart has just been like racing, and I feel like I've just had a good day, man. I had a good day. I listened basically in the middle of my day. I'll kind of cut to that. I listened to an interview with one of my favorite artists, and his name's John Bellion. I'll link the interview in the show notes here. But it's basically a podcast, and he just talks about like his life, how he got started off, and I mean, it was just really cool. I mean, I love like getting a chance to listen to like my favorite artists and how they express themselves and how they view art. And I was just all about it. So that was like a very good, like mellow thing to do while I was like just doing my 9 to 5. But woke up to my first alarm, which, sometimes that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you can't get yourself out of bed, first alarm. And I decided to take a look at my little investments, my little US stock apps, and boom, I was up like 300% in AMC, baby. Not to brag. I don't
Whoa,
want
yeah,
to
I
brag.
was seeing that on the journal, like AMC, and not only AMC, GameStop also.
So like
Crazy sore.
it's crazy. So basically, I sold that shit because it's all luck, and that move had nothing to do with real stock values. So I'm gonna curve us into a little Blake's stock and finance quarter here.
Let's get to it, man.
um,
Our fans would love this.
I hope so, because I just feel like I just am talking to myself here. But so if you're in the video game world, you'll probably have noticed that GameStop stock like shot up so much. It's crazy. It honestly, it was like $10 a share, and I think it was like over 100. So like that's like a crazy amount of return. I think it's like 10 or
Yeah, dude.
1,000.
Last I checked, it's like at $300.
Oh wow. That's nuts.
370 high today.
Well, I guess I'll pull it up for you. I'll pull it up for everybody here.
It's crazy stuff, man. It's so crazy that the Biden administration went to Jerome Powell, the guy who's in charge of
He's in charge of the Fed.
And they were like, "Hey, what do you think is happening here?" And he was like, "I have no comment."
He did. Oh, poor guy. I mean, no, I mean, like, he definitely knows what's up. So I'll give you guys like a quick like rundown of why this happened. Basically, if like honestly, like I'm just a guy, so like you don't have to listen to me, and I would feel weird if people like, I mean, like, I don't know, just you can listen to me, but I don't want to. I mean, like, you have to take ownership of your own actions. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you choose to make a financial decision based on what I say, like, I'm just a guy. So like, I'm just prefacing it with that. Basically, what I would recommend to literally anybody is stay the absolute fuck away from these. So in January of this year, GameStop stock was up around $67, which is absolutely ridiculous. And it shouldn't have even been that high because it's been trading in December before all this happened. It was like $16 and it's been like $12 in November. And it's pretty much been around like it under $10 is pretty much where the stock has been over the last couple of years because it's kind of like a Blockbuster thing. They have all these brick and mortar stores. I mean, obviously you've probably heard this a million times. There's really no reason for this to be this high. Basically, some actual business shit happened, and somebody, when it was really low in the COVID-19 era, somebody came in and they bought a lot of it, and enough to basically change the board of directors. And they basically decided they're going to change the direction of the company to online, which is, I mean, obviously for all of us that like to like go to like our local and like retro like gaming stores, like try to support the local businesses is kind of what we've said on this before. But basically, yeah, that was their direction. And then when that happened, the stock like doubled. So then basically a lot of people shorted it because they're like, oh, it's a dying store, so this is like a complicated stock thing. So basically somebody was taking a bet that it was that it was going to go down. So when you buy a stock, no matter what happens to the price of that stock, you still own that one share, even if like it goes bankrupt. And there's like all these things like options and like there's all kinds of ways that you can trade based on the stock price without having to front the initial cash to own the stock, which like an option, for example, is you are buying the option to buy the stock and it expires, it has an expiration date. And like at the expiration, if it has no value, it has no value. So it's all very complicated. And like I said, I'm trying to like sum this up pretty quick. Basically, it got caught in a cash sweep. And there was also like online organizers that were also perpetuating this. So like obviously like like there's a lot of other news stories
Reddit
out there, and if you're interested, you should definitely look it up. If you're interested interested in this at all, like definitely take up some other sources other than myself. But basically because of that, people on the internet were able to quote unquote artificially inflate GameStop stock price because of like nostalgia and other means. Like if you have enough people, so basically if you don't know how a stock price rises, when you go to buy it and you hit buy, it's like at a price, and there are all kinds of like buying options, like limit buys and stuff like that, where people are like, oh, I want to buy for this. Or like, let's say if it's at $10 and someone's like, oh, I want to make sure that I get this, I'm going to put in $10.01. And basically it's like a exponential on that level. So that's kind of that's how stock prices rise. So anyways, this stock basically has gotten artificially inflated. And a lot of it is, I mean, honestly, this is very new to the market because of places like Robinhood and other trading sites that, like, if you have a social security number, you can have a trading account. And that's, which obviously not everybody in the world has a social security number, but if you're in the US, you can have one of these accounts. So that is something that in the 21st century, that is very awesome, because that gives a lot of people, and I'm going to use air quotes here, in the quote unquote lower class, quote unquote, people that have less money and less capital, and things like, it gives them the ability to invest in these kind of things. Like, for example, I have a TD Ameritrade account. You have to put at least $50 in to even create the account. And if you don't have $50 and you want to buy a $10 stock, like, you're kind of out of luck. But there's Robinhood, which I'm not like, obviously they make their money, like, you have, like, they make money, so they are not a nonprofit. You have to, like, do research in this if you're interested. Basically, Robinhood lets you create a free account. And they also have a thing where if you sign up for Robinhood, you get a free stock. And if you recommend somebody, you both get a free stock. So it's kind of like they're trying to lower the entry cost. And when you lower the entry cost and you lower the barrier to get into an economic good, more people are in it, and therefore it changes. Whew. Wow, out of breath now. Economics on the pod. The reason that a lot of people are freaking out about this is because there were online organizers that were able to artificially manipulate a stock price, which, let me be clear, the banks and, like, hedge funds have been doing this for years, like, a very long time. So a lot of people are just freaking out because it's a change in the status quo, and people were like, oh my God, we have the power to do this. And they did it. And then they did it again with AMC. I think they might have done it with another one, like, there's a couple more that
I saw a couple more names on the journal article.
People are also doing this too. So, I mean, this is honestly like this word. I feel like a weirdo just saying this word. It's like unprecedented. Like, this has never happened before. So it's very interesting, and, like, I was I was very happy today because I was able to sell my stock for like a 300+ return.
Dude, we were talking about AMC, and I was like, Blake, I don't think it's a good idea.
Like,
and like,
I have now at this point, I have no idea to know if that bet would have paid off. But so I bought it for less than $5 a share, and the reason that I bought it originally was because I went into their 10K document, which is their annual financial document. And I was like, oh, hey, their biggest expense is the licensing to show new movies. And I was like, well, they're not showing new movies right now, so therefore they don't have to pay their biggest expense. And they also, like, their expenses for their buildings, like the rent, that was about 20% of their revenue. And I was like, well, that's pretty textbook what you should pay. So I was like, I definitely don't know what they're worth, but I think they're worth more than 5. I was like, they're probably worth like 7 to 10. And I'm like, I'm 27 years old. I can wait a couple quarters to see, like, but I was also like, in the back of my mind, I was like, if they go bankrupt, it's not going to be worth anything. So I didn't put very much in it. So, like, and like, that has not changed. So, like, that has not changed. So, like, the stock price should reflect that. But since it's not intrinsic, which means that it is not reflecting the true value of the company in, like, terms of profitability and stuff like that. Whew. So, wow. That was a lot. I'm glad that I have, like, the experience and education to hopefully be able to explain that to some people. Because I know I'm sure that, like, if you are listening to a video game podcast, you've heard about the GameStop stock. And honestly, this isn't going to come out for a couple of weeks, but I would just stay away from those. Your money, if you are looking to invest, there's a lot of better places that you can invest
Definitely. I heard also
BlackBerry was
BlackBerry
one of them.
was one
Yeah,
of
I
those
think
stocks.
the Bed Bath and Beyond maybe was another one.
Dude, this is like really, really weird, you know, just embellishing, kind of piggybacking on that. Like hedge funds really do this, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do to kind of, you know, curb that behavior because they have the resources to do so. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen from here on out, man. I mean, a 301% increase on fucking AMC, excuse my French, is just insane. And I'm really excited,
Yeah,
actually,
so in
just to
case you
see
can't, I
how
mean,
people
our
react.
brains are kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to visualize like that kind of returns. But basically, if you double something, that's 100% return. So it tripled, which, so
That's like a six. So you doubled it
so
3 times?
I originally, I mean, like, this is just like a rough number. And like, obviously, like, I mean, take from this what you will. Like, I'm not bragging or anything. Like, I am blessed I mean, I work a 9 to 5 so I can have this kind of stability. I put like $200+ in this account, which is like, is substantial if you're like, this could go bankrupt. But yeah, I mean,
No, that's
yeah.
a
And
risk, but
I was
you're
able
investing.
to, today, I like cashed out for like over 700. But like the thing is, you also have to pay taxes on this stuff. And I was like kind of talking to somebody. I was like, do I even sell this? Because I was like, I don't know. Like, so this is another thing. I had planned on holding this stock for a long time, and therefore I never anticipated paying taxes on it. So this is something that, like, if you didn't know about this, you're going to be like, fuck Trump, which, not to make this too political, but so with the taxes in the United States, there's like short-term and long-term taxes. If you hold a stock for over a year, so over 1 year, it's considered a long investment. And with the Trump administration, you did not have to pay taxes on that. So how many of Trump's buddies have held stocks for longer than 1 year that didn't have to pay taxes on those? And like, obviously, yes, that helped a lot of other people as well. A lot of other people that would have normally had to pay taxes on stuff, they were able to retire. So like, that obviously that helps everybody. And like, the current economics like opinion of the United States is that's called trickle down, where if it helps the people at the top, it helps the people in the middle, it helps the people in the bottom. Obviously, that's just an opinion. Everybody has their own opinions. Like, anyways. Yeah, everybody has opinions, and that is just one. So like, it could be wrong. And yeah, I'm just one guy. Brandon's just one guy. The people in charge, they're just people, and they make mistakes. And a lot of them, in my opinion, are uninformed about economic policies, but that's neither here nor there. But so basically, if you own stock for less than 1 year, it's considered a short. And because I've only had it for a couple months, I'm going to have to pay taxes on that. But like, the Biden administration has not come out and said what those taxes are. So it's very possible that, like, for example, the banks could, or the hedge funds and the people that have had this power previously, they could really lobby and get that to be insane. So I do not know what tax I'm going to have to pay on that, which is a little bit scary, but because, I mean, you never know.
It's the price you pay for taking risks.
I could be investigated by the SEC. I mean, obviously, I probably won't be, because I'm just one guy and I made like $500.
Yeah, it's not that much for them to be like, whoa, what are you doing? But there was a guy on that note, started off at 50K. So I was on Reddit. I was in the subreddit, the same subreddit that kind of is getting these things to blow up. This one guy was sharing, he started with 50K, and now he's at 22 million something. Crazy.
So if you if you don't know what we mean by the SEC, that's a government agency that regulates trades. And when you have trades like that, it's like 50K to a couple hundred million. They investigate those and they're like, did you have inside information on this kind of thing? And that is illegal unless you're a senator in the United States, which is super fucked that our senators can inside trade and we can't. But
our senators have a lot of power.
just
but
do
that's a
your own
conversation
research.
for another day.
I feel like we kind of went from a video game podcast to
political podcast. But hey, that's the environment we're in, man, because I mean, we're all in a pandemic. A lot of us are at home. And that's why a lot of these investors, got on Discord, got on Twitter, got on Reddit and started communicating. And, a lot of these newbie investors came together and did what hedge funds do. And I think it's a beautiful thing to, see people kind of exercise their power as a group and organize themselves, kind of like decentralization. It's exciting to see. Like I said, we'll see where it goes from here. I mean, this episode's going to drop a little bit after, so we'll be able to kind of gauge where we'll be a little better.
Yeah, definitely. And if you have any questions, if you have questions about this or like video games in general, like we would love to talk to you guys about video games. But if this is what you guys have questions about, like feel free to email us. It's at the sticky buttons, or it's the sticky buttons pod@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at the sticky buttons pod. Yeah. Send us a DM. I don't know how that works. I don't know how I set up our account. I think you should be able to DM us. You should be able to. And yeah, we'd love to talk about it on the pod with you guys. But yeah, just like stay safe out there. Like definitely like try to if you are looking to make a financial decision, try and do as much research as possible. There are so many resources available to you out there. And one thing that you have to be careful is you always have to say, who's providing this information to me? Are they going to get something out of it? And like with financial information, it is very hard for places, especially online, to stay objective. Like, for example, I personally trust the Wall Street Journal because I am paying them a subscription. So I know that like millions of people pay for this subscription, so that's how they're able to get your resources. If you don't know, maybe you should just ask yourself that and just be careful. Like there's just so much misinformation and there's so many agendas. Yeah. Honestly, like seriously, I could talk for hours about financial advice and I normally try not to, because the thing is everybody has their own opinions and everybody thinks they're right, and like with stocks, like there's so many douchebags out there that are like, I think this is going to go up. And you very physically put your money where your mouth is, and somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. So no matter how you slice it, there's an up and there's a down. And they're going to be completely random. Nobody knows. Because if the person, like, if somebody really knew what was going to happen tomorrow, they wouldn't tell anybody and they'd be the richest person in the world. So that's that. We're going to try and stay away from, unless you guys have like specific questions, we're probably going to try and stay away from that for a little bit. We're going to stay away from the stocks and I don't know if you feel any different about this, Brandon, but obviously, like you said, it's the climate that we're in, but I feel like to not like at least address these things briefly would feel disingenuous.
No, it really would, especially, we started off with GameStop, and it kind of makes me sad, man, just thinking about losing GameStop, the brick and mortar GameStop that I, was able to just go and like just the other day, I was saying how my Switch dock messed up and GameStop came in clutch. My local gaming retailer, who I do try to support, I always go to my local business first. They just didn't have it. Also, when I was looking for Dragon Quest 11, a little bit of an older title, came out in 2018, 2019. I was looking for it at my local retailer. I'm just going to say GameStar. That's what they're called, the GameStar. And they didn't have it. They didn't have the copy. But sure enough, I went to my GameStop and they pulled it out of a little drawer and they were like, Dragon Quest 11. here you go. And I was like, that's awesome, you know, because I was a little scared. I was like, am I going to be able to get this copy tonight, you know? And am I going to have to like order it online and have to like pay for shipping and pay for tax, like, and wait
And there's
for that?
also like something else to be
Um,
said about
but
GameStop with the physical people that are in those stores. Like they're awesome. They know what they're talking about. They play video games like just like us. Like if I've had so many good experiences just walking in and be like, hey dude, like what's up? Like what do you think about this game? Or what do you think about this game? And like that, unfortunately, like that
Yeah.
human interaction, like that is probably going to be going away soon, just with all the digital downloads and everything. That's just the way the world's going, which is kind of, you know, I mean, obviously, like we just want to talk about it and we want to have a community, but we're trying to do that all online because of that, because it's hard to have that connection and that community without, you know, because everybody's so separated. It's hard to do it physically, but it's easier to do it online, which is kind of why we're here.
And it's a really unfortunate situation to have to lose GameStop like we lost Toys R Us. It's another retailer that like, you know, was pretty cool to have around, you know, just be able to go to like a Toys R Us, and it's the experience really that, you know, they provide for people. And it's just not going to be there. Now, I don't know, GameStop might be able to stick around, especially given all this, you know, newfound.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they own very much of their stock. I'm gonna assume they don't, because somebody was able to buy enough to put themselves on the board of directors. But if they did own that much stock, they could sell it, and then the company would have cash to be able to do whatever they wanted to do, which is why companies offer stock, is to be able to fund their activities. And what they give up in return is freedom, which is why they have like a board of directors. More a little bit of finance stuff for you. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like it kind of sucks about Toys R Us and stuff, but
It's important.
Who benefits in that instance is us, the consumer, because we are able to get those at a cheaper price. But what we lose is kind of that experience.
That human connection, man. Like you said, just go in and pick someone's brain about a Dragon Quest title. Should I get it? You know, what were your experiences with it? Recently I saw a PS5 at my GameStop. I could have snagged it.
You did?
I just didn't want to.
What?
I'm gonna use that to. I'm just gonna use that to
I'm gonna cut
segue
you off
into
first, though.
something I wanted to talk about on
I'm
the
gonna cut you
episode.
off first. Sorry about that.
What is it?
But yeah, so I mean, that's why we're here, man. I mean, that's why we're here, because like Brandon said, like you kind of lose that human interaction about being able to like go in and pick someone's brain about Dragon's Quest. But that's why we're here, and I can tell you right now, me and Brandon we're playing Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
Oh yeah.
There's an S in there. I don't know where that S goes, but Definitive Edition S.
I think it's on the end. Definitive Edition.
Well, we're checking that out. And let me tell you, Brandon bought the game, the physical copy, and I downloaded the demo, and I'm having a blast with it. So for that human interaction while you're here, you can download the demo if you have the space on your SD card or hard drive for free, and you get like your first 10 hours of gameplay for free. And then you have to buy it. So if you're just looking to check it out along with us and you're not sure if it's right for you, download the demo. It's free. You can play along with us for free. And then if you want it, like, you continue to play with us. So let me get this straight.
Yeah, get yourself a copy.
You could have bought a PS5 and you didn't.
Yeah, man. As you guys know, I've been on the hunt for a PS5, you know, since way back. I mean, I mentioned it on a few episodes already, and I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm like, you know, I don't want this version of the PS5, the first iteration. I think I'm going to wait for the PS5 Pro and just go for the Series X.
What if they don't come out with a Pro
Expo,
for like a couple years?
That's okay, because I got my PS4 and I still can play zombies, still can play a lot of these titles with my friends, still join parties and talk to my friends on the P5. It's just, oh man, PS5, man. I saw it and I was like, my eyes literally gleamed. They were like, what?
You made somebody else very happy about your decision to not buy that.
At retail price.
That's awesome that you could have got that, man. That's cool.
But yeah, it was at my local GameStop, and it seems like GameStop did, they're making moves and they're restocking. They're bringing in a lot of PS5s, a lot of these Xbox Series S's, Series X, and they're doing their thing, supplying the people with this awesome hardware. And yeah, man, I don't know about the PS5 anymore, but who knows? Next episode, I might be like, hey, I have the PS5 in hand and I can play this. So we'll see what's in the cards for us this year. But yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm at with my PS5 hunt. I'm just, I don't.
Dude, I get
don't
that, man. I'm kind of like every couple of days I log on to my computer and I just search PS5 and I like look for it. I don't look too hard. I just look. If I can't like buy it right away, I'm like, well, maybe tomorrow. Because like in the back of my mind, like I said, I've been playing my Switch exclusively pretty much because I've been on the road for almost 3 months now, 2.5 months, and I'm a little bit sick. Yeah. I'm a little bit sick of it. I wanna play some zombies, dude. I want to play some other games that I have. Like I said, I'm really on a PlayStation 2 kick right now. Like in my apartment, I have two PlayStation 2s, and I want to play Ratchet and Clank. I want to play some Ratchet and Clank. I have some other PS2 games that I want to check out, and I really want to. I have some titles that I kind of alluded this to on another episode previously that I like. If I have a game that I really am enjoying, I'll try and really spread it out. There's some games that I just want to beat, dude. I like had them in the back of my mind. I'm like, I want to beat this game as soon as I get back to New York. And so I've really got a back catalog that I'm going to work through. And then I think once I work through that, I think I'll be able to buy a PS5. I think it'll be available.
You think you would have earned it? You would have earned it. And I definitely think it'll be available by that point. I mean, it's already becoming a lot more available. They're stocking it pretty well. And retailers are doing a good job of supplying people.
You can
scalpers though.
If you want, you can. There's so many that you can buy for over the market price. So also, this is something that I put on our notes. So you'll probably already know, Brandon, but I couldn't buy a PS5, but I did buy a Sony stock. One single Sony stock, and I kind of thought it would be funny just to have, just so I could tell you guys about it on the pod. We recently published our cursed episode, the cursed episode. I think it was episode 10. In that we talk about Sony stock, and I basically said, don't buy it. And I was like, I listened to it. I thought it was funny. I thought it'd be funny for everybody. Just to kind of, so this way you guys don't have any skin in the game and you can just hear about it from me. I bought one single Sony stock and it's down right now. Like I said, it was going to be. I think I had mentioned on the curse episode, you should never buy something when it's at an all-time high. And I pretty much bought it at an all-time high.
Yeah.
I did. I saw it.
Eat your own words there, Blake.
That's funny. I'm just gonna buy it. And the reason that I bought it is because it was like trading at like $99 and like some cents. I was like, well, I want to get it before it's under 100. Because it's just for fun. I figured it could be maybe like a.
That's pretty reasonable.
You could name it. You want to name it? Name the stock.
We can name the stock.
Gengar.
Let's name it Gengar. Let's name it.
It's gonna be a cursed stock. Then. I don't know if I want that. I have that in my portfolio, Brandon. You can call it your one stock of Sony Gengar if you want. I guess that seals it. It's Gengar, man. Gengar.
We're gonna ask about him and follow up. On that note, man, let's talk about some Pokemon because
I'm gonna allude to a little bit before we get too much into it, but I have beaten it. I don't really want to talk too much about it. I think we should I mean, we kind of talked about this off the air, but we're going to have a pretty big Pokemon episode coming out soon. But I'll give you just a little bit right now.
Coming your way.
Specifically on the Gengar, dude. So do you know what is exclusive to Pokemon Shield, which you have, is the Gigantamax Gengar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really? I didn't know he was
I'm
an
gonna pull this up
exclusive.
online just to double check. He's exclusive to Shield. And the
That's true.
Markchomp, his Gigantamax form.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
is
sorry,
it
dude. Yeah, Machamp.
is it Machamp?
Machamp. Yeah,
Machamp.
4 arms. Mm-hmm.
He's got 4 arms. He's always
He's got
flexing
those gains.
his 4 arms.
But yeah, that is it. That is a Sword Gigantamax exclusive. G-Max. We can just call it G-Max because I mess it up every time. If you
G-Max
happen
is
to
a lot
catch
more efficient.
a G-Max Gengar, I'll trade you for one of my G-Max.
I'll be on the hunt.
I have 2 G-Max duplicates that I would trade with you. I'm gonna have to pull it up. I forgot the name.
Which one? Dude, I recently pulled out the Shield after I heard that little Blakey just won. he got all his badges, and he's moving on.
So I'm
Are you
a
in the
little
league right now? Or you
confused
already
about
beat the
it,
league?
to be honest. I rolled in the credits, so I think that means I'm the champion of the region. I'm pretty sure that's where the game ends.
Okay. Yeah. So little Blakey is now a champion. He not only got his badges, he's also the champion of the Alolan region.
What's Galar?
Which I mean, I'm also a champion.
Yeah, the Galar region.
The Galar. Yeah. Sorry about
That's
that.
the Sun and Moon.
Alolan. That's. Yeah, I probably. Wow.
That's okay, dude.
Living in
Don't
the
mind.
past there. But yeah,
Dude, we're
man,
gonna
I'm
have
also
to-
a
we're gonna have to
champion,
have
so
a
we're
little
gonna have
battle.
to duke it out and see who's really the champ.
Oh man! So the G-Max Pokemon that I actually have 3 of them is Duraludon.
Oh man, that's like a
The
big,
ci-
like
yeah, he
icy,
kind of looks like a
kinda
skyscraper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, for
Skyscraper.
whatever reason on my sword, I've got so many of him, and I keep seeing him on the map, and I'm like, I don't really want to even bother. So I have 3 of him right now, 3 G-Max of him, and then
Wow.
I could have figured this out in a quick
Wow.
Google search, but I didn't, and I bred him, and turns out the G-Max does not. You can't breed that, and also the G-Max you cannot evolve them. Yeah, they come in their. Yeah,
They come in their
yes,
final form.
Yes. Except for the
That makes a lot
the
of sense.
Charizard
Um,
that you get from completing the game, which Charmander, dude, that dude's dope.
Yeah.
I
that one
also
Charmander.
we gotta stop talking about this before we get too far into it. But in short, I have some tips and tricks which it's not really tips and tricks. Now that I've done it, I would do it differently. I bought the expansion pack. I bought the Isle of Amor and
What?
the Snowy Tundra. I don't know if that's right. I haven't been there yet, but yeah, I just recently bought it the other day, and we can talk about it on the one that we talk about, just the Pokemon one, but just like it's a little
Yeah,
teaser for what's to
definitely.
come, I suppose.
Definitely, man. I'm excited to hear all about that, and I think I might also get into that so we can really have a dual perspective
Dude,
on that.
honestly,
episode.
man, we've got a
about
little
it.
bit more time. I want to kind of bring you back to your hot pursuit, man. Need for Speed. I feel like we really had so much to talk about. We really kind of glazed over that one. So tell me about that game, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's a PlayStation 2
yeah.
game. Break it down for me a little bit. What exactly goes on there? What do you do? We know it's a well-funded police department, so.
Man. Oh yeah. They got lots of bread. Lots of bread to pay these officers
train
and
them
put them in
too.
these really,
Well, they
really
probably
nice
don't do that.
cars. Yeah, definitely just like, hey, you can drive, you got a license, get behind the wheel, catch some bad guys. And racers are bad guys, so I need to point that out. I mean, if you're racing and you're putting other people's
Yeah,
lives
there's
at
a lot of
risk,
people that
it's
drive
not a
past
good idea.
my window that you've heard
Um,
in these podcasts. Fuck you to those
yeah,
people.
that's illegal. Go to a track and race cars, um, because that's safe, and not only are you
Yeah,
protecting
actually, on
yourself,
that
you're
note,
also
man,
protecting society.
I've been in a really bad
Um,
car accident. When I was 16 years old, I was a little speed devil. I crashed and totaled my car, and that was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life.
ooh,
And like obviously, the economic impact of that was really tough on me and my fam, which sucks that I had to put all of us through that. But um, when you're in that moment and you're like things just happen so fast that you kind of realize. I mean, I'm sharing this so that hopefully, if you were one of these people, you never have to go through this, but you can't do anything because your car weighs like a couple tons and it's going that fast. And like physics tells you that you have that momentum and like you just can't do anything. And like I am so blessed that I lived through
yep.
it and the person that's in the car with me lived through it and the people that I hit lived through it. And
Thankfully,
yeah, dude. So I
thankfully,
mean,
that's
obviously
great
it's
news to
not
hear.
fine, but that's why I'm trying to say like I mean, like in America, like sometimes, I mean, some things are just fucked. And like at a 16 years old, sometimes you don't understand the weight of what it means to have a driver's license, to have a car, and like what that like the weight of your decisions. Sometimes you don't really fully grasp, and there are a lot of people that are
Yeah,
much older than us that do not understand that as well. And those are the kind of people that race and like people end up dead. And so just like you have no idea,
yeah,
like it could like if you're like there are so many people on the roads for so many different reasons. And like yeah. So we all I mean like
right.
obviously I don't think that we're talking to those kind of people if they're listening here, but like if you do know somebody like that, just like reach out and be like, hey dude, no, slow down. Let's not do that.
That's not cool. Yeah, that's not, you're putting people's lives at risk. Just let them know. I know I let my friends know whenever I see them bugging out. You know, some people on Instagram, on social media will literally like share
It's
while
even
they're
worse.
doing things like that, and that's even wilder. Um, but I mean, at 16, you probably don't know that an object in motion stays in motion. So if you're going 120 miles per hour, so are your internal
Yeah.
organs,
Yeah.
and that's really scary.
Yeah. Don't do it in real life.
But
Do it in a
back to
video
Need for Speed
game.
Hot Pursuit, man.
Do it in a video game, baby.
Do it in the game. It's really fun. You get to try out a plethora of cars. Um, my favorite is the Boxster, the Porsche Boxster. I think it's a Boxer or the Boxster. Nice little slim car, 2-seater. Man, that thing goes. That thing goes top speed at 200, and it has like no control. Once you're at 200, if you do the slightest little turn, you're gonna just skid. You know, you really need to drift. You need to learn how to drift in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, because if you're not drifting,
Yeah, dude.
you're probably
I
crashing.
downloaded a Forza
Um,
game for free with Games for
I love.
Gold, and oh boy, howdy was I bad at that. I'm not good at racing games. I never really had them growing up. I don't love them. I just am not the. I mean, like Mario Kart's probably the best I ever. Or the
Yeah, me either. I'm not really one for like the like actually like
those are
Forza
really
is one
like
of
a
those
big
where you're
sim.
really
Like
racing and
those
like
are
on
real
track.
realistic sims. Those are cool.
Yeah. But Hot Pursuit is a
Hmm.
little more arcadey, with like you're getting chased by cops for speeding, which will likely happen to you in real life, um, if you are doing those things. And yeah, man, I started playing that at PlayStation 2. I was like a young kid. I saw my uncle playing it, and I was like, that seems like a really fun game. And sure enough, I loved it. You know, just like that anticipation of like, I'm not going to get caught. I'm just going to keep speeding so that no one stops me. And Yeah, man, that's the whole premise behind the game. You got these races, and you want to get to the top as a racer. You want to be the best racer. You want a bounty, because the higher bounty that you have, the more that you get, the more rewards you get for winning first place. Um, and yeah, racing. Also, the cops. I didn't think I would like being a cop as much. I think I mentioned this in the last episode. Not sure, um, but it's really fun stopping these bad guys, getting behind them. You can literally, if you hit people as a cop, you can like hit them like you got to hit them a couple of times, but you can
Oh,
literally
wow.
hit them and make them
That's
stop
cool.
racing. Um, you can stop them with spike strips. There's a plethora of methods that the cops employ to stop these guys. And man, it's really fun. So you can do that. There are like two different ways you can stop them. It's either like a race where you're timed and you have to get to a location in a specific amount of time. And if you don't get to that location that specific amount of time, the racer would have already passed the point, and you wouldn't be able to stop them. But if you get there just in time, you like literally
Mhm.
the animation is like a bunch of cop cars, and you get there in time, you drift, and you stand in like the line of cops so that the
Oh, that's
racer
cool.
has to stop. Um, and yeah, and then the other way as a cop with different types of missions is like this racer is just, even if there is that, they're not
Ooh,
going to stop.
dang.
So you got to take them down the hard way. Um, and that's really fun, just having to like literally like hit the cars and like get them to stop. And it's just a fun little game, man. And honestly, I'm glad I bought it. I think it was 20. I got it on sale on the Nintendo store. I'm not sure if it still is. It was a 33%
Nice,
sale. I got it
nice.
for like $15. And I'm so glad I have it, because it's like whenever I get, a little bored of Breath of the Wild and I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm not feeling, like getting on my Shield or Dragon Quest. I can get on Need for Speed and just
Yeah,
get a
definitely,
little
dude.
rush going.
I'm
It's fun.
gonna I'm
It's a
gonna
fun
kind of real
game.
quick just say my favorite racer, kind of while we're talking about this, is very different from this one, but it's also a PlayStation 2 era game, which I'm probably gonna play some of when I in front of my PlayStation 2. Dude, I love that we're having like a little retro game kick right here. I love that. Love that, man. So
Yeah.
unlike Brandon's game, mine is it's very different. It's still a racer, but it's like it's a complete fantasy racer. So have you played any of those Jack and Dexter games? Well, so it's in that universe. If you
I
ever
haven't.
played PlayStation 2 eras, it's in that like that IP. Oh god, like that storyline. It's in the Jack and Dexter Chronicles, you could say.
Yeah.
It's called Jak X Racing, and it's so rad, dude. so so basically everybody in this game has like elf ears, and it's like in like a fantasy world, and all the guns have or all I'm sorry, all the cars have like these crazy guns on them, and there's like all kinds of races.
Oh
Is
wow.
yeah, really Mad
Mad
Max
Max
vibes.
vibes.
It's kind of really Mad Max vibes, because the whole premise of the game is you in like one of the other games, on one of the other Jack and Dexter games, you do a bunch of missions for this gang lord, this like mob boss, and then basically he has a will, and you read it, and like they read it. Spoilers: this game came out a while ago, but PlayStation 2 era Jak X Racing. Spoilers. I'm sorry.
Why are you spoiling
I
it? They're
haven't
gonna.
finished the game yet, so I don't really know
How
what
could
happens at
you
the end.
like?
But in the beginning, in the beginning, that you're working for, or well, you have worked for this mob boss in the past. He dies. You go to the reading of his will, and basically you do a toast, and you drink like a champagne from a champagne bottle kind of thing, and then there's like a hologram, and it's like the reading of his will, and he's like, ha, suckers, like you've all been poisoned, and his daughter's there, and his daughter's like, what? And basically like he's like, I have some associates that you'll never find out, they have the antidote, you are not gonna get this unless you win this race. And he's like, It's always been my dream to win this underground racing circuit. So he's like from Boston.
So he's like,
from
he's
beyond
loving
the
that.
grave,
He's
I'm gonna
like,
finally
yeah.
win and beat Mizo. I guess it's like his competing crime boss. So yeah, totally different vibes. But you're dying. So, but then you also like you fuck people up with your guns in these races. So it's chill.
Dude, I love that dynamic because it's not just like a racing
Yeah,
game.
it's like a
also like
story as
there's
well.
things that you got to do.
And
while
it's
you're racing.
cool, man, because there's like all kinds of weapons, and the most common weapon that you get in the game is like grenade. It's like a grenade launcher, and you like every gun is different ammo sizes, which is like adds to the gameplay of it. And you basically the grenade one that I don't know if it's like you just get it all the time, and it sucks. Like it's awful. I can like never kill anybody with it. So I'm always like, whenever I get it, I just like. I don't know.
Why is it? Because
yeah,
the
it's
range is
kind
just
of
on,
like
like
it's
the way
just
it
weird. They
shoots
have
is
like
just
homing
weird?
missiles that like lock on, and there's like machine guns, and like it's cool. And then they
Oh, those are
also
nice.
another aspect of it that's really cool. You have like a rear weapon, that you can shoot out your rear. So if somebody's behind you, you can like drop a mine. Yeah, you can.
What?
Yeah, it's cool. And yeah, it's cool. So like the one trigger. Actually, I think the two big triggers that I don't know for sure. I haven't played this in a while. I think those are both boosts, or maybe one's drift, one's boost, and then it's like one's a gun for the front and one's a gun for the back. So it's like very, very like intrinsic, and like a lot of the ones that like you shoot at the back, like you have to pick, like you have to like run over them, kind of like in Mario Kart where you like run over a box. You like run over, but like they're different colors and they all mean different things. So it's like the yellow's the weapons, the green gives you health,
Okay.
purple or blue or whatever gives you boost, and then the red gives you your like defense weapon that you can like shoot behind
Dude,
you.
I love
Dude,
that.
it's honestly super awesome, and I'm really excited to actually check out some of these PlayStation 2 era games. Jak X Racing.
Jak X Racing. Dude, that makes me think about another racing game that I used to play on the PlayStation 2. I think probably my first like Rockstar game. I
It's okay,
shouldn't
man.
have been playing Rockstar
This is what it is
games
now.
at this age. I was, man, and
honestly, sometimes
man, I
like
loved
those
it.
kind of games are just best
it's
when
called-
you're like too young for it.
Yeah, because you kind of don't like
that
a lot of the things go over your
sometimes
head,
that's the best.
you know, like the music. And it was Midnight Club. That was the name of the game. And whenever I bring it up, like because for some reason this game has like cemented its way into my brain, and because it's such a good game, and I'd love to like play it on your PS2, man. Like I don't know, we're gonna have to get our hands on a copy of
We
Midnight
totally
Club
should,
and
man.
fucking race, man, because it really takes me back, man. And yeah, I would just play with my uncle, two remotes. We would get in like any car, you know, really, really nice cars. You can like just get in there, play some music, and just drive around, get into races, run away from cops. I'm realizing like a lot of the racing games I like.
It's fine, man. Sometimes you just love what you love. That's cool. Man. I love a James Bond movie, and I
Midnight Club.
I probably shouldn't. It's a little bit trashy, but I still love them.
It's something about it, man. That makes me think about.
I've
John
only
Wick.
seen the first one.
Like,
And I
love
loved
John
it.
Wick movies.
I haven't seen the second or the third. Do you like them?
It was really the back.
Dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, they killed his dog, and they took his '69 Camaro.
I love the part where, I mean, not to make this about John Wick, but I love the part when like the Russian mob dude's like, "Oh, you just killed his fucking dog. Yeah, that's good fun, dude." El Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Dude, it was such a like. I was rewatching it with my girlfriend the other day, and like she loved it too. It was just she couldn't believe that was the backstory.
I mean, like that's fucked.
They just killed his puppy, and she's like, she was like, he better get them all.
Honestly, people that hurt animals, like, fuck those people. That's really, not
really
joke,
bad
but...
people. But yeah,
back to Midnight Club. PlayStation 2 era game.
Amazing, amazing, amazing PlayStation 2 era game. I think they remade it for the PS3. Rockstar, if you're listening to this in any capacity, please bring it back. Please, I am begging you guys. Maybe it's gonna be up to me to just get into Rockstar and just try and get this game out again, because I really believe people need to have another iteration of Midnight Club. It's just so good, man. Yeah, that's that on that. Jak X Racing Midnight Clubs and PS2
I just want to let
gems,
you know,
man.
I looked it
Really
up real
retro.
quick. You can buy the original Midnight Club PlayStation 2 game for $4.99 online.
$5 for that gem.
It's $13 on
I'm
Amazon.
gonna do
I've
that
been
in a
buying like
minute.
a lot of the things that like the retro game stuff. I mean, like I know it's bad, but I kind of just like have been getting them on Amazon because I know I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? Well, I know
Yeah,
that I'm
you know
gonna
you're gonna
like
play
actually
them.
physically receive the copy. Sometimes when I go from like if I go after retro games, like I don't know. A lot of these websites seem sketches hell to me.
No, yeah, and like if you get the retro game, you open the disc and then it's like really scratched
Which
up
is
and
why
stuff.
those
It's tough.
like your
But back to
local game store, like having them be the mediators for that, where it's like, oh, like yeah. So I'm
awesome.
in the hunt. Yeah, another reason. I mean,
GameStop.
I don't think
Another
I don't
reason.
think they really do PlayStation 2 games anymore. I think
They
it's
definitely have
probably
some like
more the
gems if
ones
you
that
like
they
some
bought
really
so many
popular
of and
ones.
they still have an excess in their inventory. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't work for them. Who knows?
I know I can definitely go to my
I'm
local
really
GameStop and find
I'm
some
on the hunt
PS2
for
games.
some. We're kind of getting close to time, but I'll kind of just say a couple retro games I'm kind of looking for right now. I'm keeping my eye out for Pokemon Pinball, which I alluded to in another episode, which I don't think I've talked about this on the pod. That was the wrong game. I meant to say Pac-Man Pinball, and then because Pac-Man Pinball was the first video game. Pac-Man
I
Pinball is a
remember that
dope
game
game. That's the
on
first
the
video game
PS2.
I ever owned. I've been on the search and the hunt for that. But on the pod, I said Pokemon Pinball, which turns out there's like a bunch of Pokemon pinball games. And then I also looked on the Nintendo Switch store. There's like a whole genre of pinball games, bro. I didn't even know. There's like all kinds of free pinball games that also
Oh,
have like a licensed one that's like $20 from Star Wars. There's like a licensed Star Wars. So yeah, so there's like a whole genre of pinball games on the Nintendo store, and there's like a licensed one from Star Wars, and it's like $20, which I was like, I'm not trying to pay $20 for a licensed Star Wars pinball game. But they have like all kinds of different
pinball game.
faces,
Yeah.
I guess is what they're called. So different maps, quote unquote, of like the pinball and like the triggers. But really cool, man. It's a really cool genre. I'd love to talk. I mean, it's just pinball games, but on like video games. I'd love to maybe like check one or two out at some point. That'd be really cool to check out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember playing pinball games on the PS2. Even like that's something that at the time was like pretty hot. I'm pretty sure. Pinball games will always be like you play it
Yeah.
and it'll be fun to just about anybody. Like, even 100 years from now, humans will, I'm sure, have the ability to pull up a pinball game and still enjoy it, no matter what kind of games we have then. It's such a good concept, man. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to. You said there's a Star Wars one. What else did you
They
see
have
in that
honestly,
like
like if you want to
Nintendo
look, like
pinball
if you just search
collection?
pinball, there's a couple hundred. Like there are so many, and there's like they're ranging in price, like $20 to $50 to like anywhere from like two to three. But there's also a lot of free ones out
$50.
there, and also just something else really quick. Rocket League is free on the Nintendo store right now. So we should.
Dude, we gotta get on Rocket League. Another racing
You're on
game.
a soccer
I love.
pitch and you just drive cars. It's so funny as like a it's like a thing, but it's like so much fun.
Dude, people get professional, like there are professional Rocket League players, because it's really hard to like get your car to elevate. I play with my friends all the time on PlayStation, and we get really competitive. I mean, we talk our smack.
Man,
We even
I don't do that.
bet
I'm
money
bad.
on it.
Don't bet on me. I'll tell you right now, I'm not good.
It's so fun, man. It's like
Oh yeah, I love
if you
that.
watch
It's just
have you watched
so
a soccer game?
back and forth, man. It's just
It's just as
Mhm.
intense, man. It's just as intense. It's crazy fun, and we got to get on it on the Switch, man. I'd love to like me and
Yeah,
you
that'd be a
get
battle,
on some
man.
two v
That sounds
twos
like so
against
much
some
fun.
people, and really see how good we are, man. I mean, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
what are you gonna
rough
do?
you up a bit, teach
You
you
gotta learn
ropes,
somehow.
but
I've
gotta learn
definitely
somehow,
played a
man.
couple hundred hours, like in
I'm a
college.
whore
Like that's something that me and my roommate Joe,
of Rocket
shout
League.
outs to Joe, we would do that a lot. He's actually the one that tipped
Shout
me
outs
off to
to
this.
Joe.
He now has a Switch, and he's like, "Yo, dude, like, I guess your account rolls over too." I haven't actually tried that
There's
out,
Rocket
but
League.
that's
Oh,
what
really? So I
that's what
can
he
like
said.
my
I
PlayStation
have not
account.
for sure on
Oh,
that.
that's awesome. So I have a lot of shit.
Yeah, we would come home from the bars or parties, and we would just go drunk 2v2, and we he was better. He was better than me.
Put some work in.
We loved it, man. So I'd love to play with you on that, man.
Dude, I'm a horrible goalie. I hope you're a better goalie than
I
I
always
just
do
love
try to
attacking.
drop back. I feel like I
Uh,
prefer to cherry pick, kind of be defense, and then like if I see like an opportunity, I'll just zoom up and try and knock it in.
yeah.
Try to set up the crosses too.
Dude, some people are
I always love
really
that. I feel
good.
like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Cross, like
Those
have
are
one
really
person cross the ball over and the other person just try and do it. And you do that a couple times and maybe you'll get one or two.
dude, some people
But
are
it's
so
like
good at
really
that
like
cross
honestly,
thing,
like you
man.
have to be every goal, you have to be so like every time somebody scores a goal, you have to be so on because if like the person that's closest to the ball is not gunning it towards the ball, you're just gonna get scored on. And like that happens. Like if somebody like loses a concentration for like half a sec, or in those 3-4 seconds, after
It's over.
goal scoring.
You definitely have to like pay attention. You also have to get good at like maneuvering in the air. I know you're driving cars and they're not flying cars, but like
Yeah, you have to be good
there's
at that.
double
You
jumps.
have to be good at that.
You know that you can drive on the walls. You can drive on the walls and like hop off. You can get on the roof and drive upside down.
That is a wild game. If you have not seen
This is really cool.
any gameplay of that or played it yourself, like I said, it's free on Switch. And dude, Rocket League's awesome.
On a lot of different like platforms. Definitely check out Rocket League if you haven't already, and it's totally free.
It was a good racing
episode, man. We got into racing. We got into some stocks.
Man, I really thought we were going to talk about some
more
about some Dragon Quest and some other stuff, but keep in tune, man. We're going to save it. We're just going to talk about it next time.
We can save that. Yeah. Dude, and I have so much shit to do in Dragon Quest, man. Right now, that actually reminds me. I can't wait to get back on it tonight.
I'm excited to talk to you.
I have a lot of shit to do in Dragon Quest.
I'm really excited.
Man. Do you think you're gonna once you touch the 10 hour?
I was gonna say that. I'm feeling really burnt out with the turn-based combat.
Fantasy,
it's a hero's adventure, which I mean, like I love that. Like that is like my favorite type of shit. But I'm a little bit burnt on that right now, and like that's like all I have at the moment. But I am checking out this game called Ashen, which I also got on sale. Yeah, so I spoilers, I bought it. I'm playing through it right now. I'm excited to talk to you about it because I'm not even gonna say nothing more because I have like a really I feel like I have a unique take on that. Bye, Felicia.
Dude, on that note,
I don't know why it's like been in my head. I've never even seen that movie, but like whatever that is, I've seen the memes, but it's like
you've definitely seen the memes.
Have you seen the movie? Do you know how they say it? How do they say it? I guess that's Like, bye, Felicia.
Dude, your face right
Sorry, I
there.
didn't know how he did it.
Dude, I'm leaving this in the episode. I'm leaving
one of
this
the
in
top things on Google is "Bye Felicia game."
What?
Oh my
Dude,
God,
people who make a game out of
Target.com?
anything, I love it.
But, it's a game, but like, it's like a board game. $17 on Target. Bye, Felicia.
Well, on that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Sticky Buttons podcast, where the buttons stay sticky
Bye, Felicia.
and the podcast stays chill.